Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you may be. This is the overnight. I am DM Voss, and joining me so far tonight is Baron. How's it going, Baron?
Going pretty good.
All right. Moo and Gary, if you want to jump in, there's links in the Gilded server. Gunpowder Beauty, I'll send you a link if I don't know if you're up with the baby, if you're busy. Uh, but tonight, we were going to talk a little bit more about the recent Supreme Court rulings um, and kind of how it may apply to the CRS. Uh,
Debacle?
yeah. For those who are not aware of who CRS is, it's a YouTuber that was giving away, what was the name of the card?
Auto key card.
Auto key cards. And the ATF said that they were machine guns. It was
Yeah,
basically
specifically lightning links.
they were little metal cards, about credit card size. And the earlier versions had the design mostly cut out. And then there were just some tabs that you could cut out. But the second generation was basically an etching on a metal card.
Yeah, laser etch.
Yeah. So the ATF said that they could easily be cut out and used, but so he's awaiting trial right now. But
I think they charged him with conspiracy to sell a machine gun because he was the one advertising.
Something like that to distribute or
yeah.
But so last week we were talking about the Bruin case where the Supreme Court said that you had the courts had to use strict scrutiny when looking at these cases. And I had mentioned where the courts now are favorable towards Second Amendment and our rights as we see it, and that in the future, if the makeup of the court changes, that it could change how that scrutiny is applied, where it could go back to two-step instead of being strict scrutiny. And Barbecue had mentioned, and I'm not. This is not directed towards Barbecue. It just came out of the conversation. Had mentioned, well, it was unlikely to change because somebody would have to be damaged before they could sue, meaning that in order to overturn overturn the Bruin ruling, somebody would have to be injured in the opposite way, and then take it up through the courts, which at the time I didn't. I must have been distracted or didn't finish the thought. Where not really. Instead of being like with Bruin, where he went up through the courts because he was damaged. If a state makes a law restricting your gun rights, then it moves up into the courts and they rule against the Second Amendment. So it goes up to the Supreme Court. If they choose to, they can either rule against it, saying that you need to use the two-step process to look at these instead of using strict scrutiny, or they can just choose not to take it, which means that the law would stand. I don't know if what I just said any of that made any sense because it was kind of muddled in my head also.
I understood that I should have understood it.
So basically, um, if right now it's considered a conservative court, if
Yes.
if the makeup of the court changes so it's more liberal, um, and a state passes a law that restricts, that, um,
Washington State, for example.
yeah. So, um,
Let's say the ninth deems that mag bans are constitutional because they're supposed to
yeah.
re-review. Is that what review the thing they already reviewed?
So yeah. So if they say that yes, this ban can stand, and it goes up to the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court does not take it up, or if they took it up and then ruled that it is constitutional, basically, um, now I'm getting all confused.
No,
Um,
I get it. What did they did the vacate, remand, and
yeah, the GVR. So what's GVR? So it sent them, some of the cases, the assault weapons ban and the mag limits were sent back down for the lower courts to look at again using the strict scrutiny. Um, and it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens out of that. But
yeah, theoretically, our mag ban should go away before the end of the year. Theoretically.
hopefully, but I you never know, honestly,
Yeah,
because
the Ninth Circus, they are called. But if they go by the instructions they were given, it should go away.
um, I yes, it should. And if they decide not to,
Then we're at the mercy of the Supreme Court
yep,
taking the case again.
and it goes back up to the Supreme Court. They could just, I've heard people say that they would have to take this case. Well, they don't have to do shit if they decide they don't want to, and there's nothing to force them to take a case.
In fact, they could have taken the case instead of sending it back down. They could have just ruled and been like, yep, that's unconstitutional. Not allowed to have mag bans. And then everywhere in the country, mag bans would be gone.
Yeah, and I'm not, sometimes it'll kick back down because of procedural things. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not even close to being a lawyer, and for sure not a constitutional lawyer. So some of this I don't know um, how it all works, but they could have taken it, and but there may be a procedural reason why they wanted it to go back down to the lower court and have them rule. I don't know if that's to set in stone that this is how you do it and force them to do it that way.
Basically, my understanding is they felt that all these cases that came up were basically the same thing in their mind. And that they used one case and told people this is how you're supposed to rule on these cases. You're supposed to use not like, oh, it's in the government's best interest to take down um, people's rights and say you can't carry here and there. You're supposed to use historical, what's the word?
Precedents.
Precedents. Yeah. And so they said, these other cases, you ruled them wrong. You need to re-rule them because we don't have the time to deal with your bullshit. And if you don't do it right, we will come back. But is that a threat that they're actually going to follow through on? If the ninth screws us over, are they actually going to see this case again? I don't know.
I would tend to think so, but
I hope so.
you'd like, who knows?
I mean, hell, I don't want to give them any ideas, but you just had that person try to kill Kavanaugh. Crazy shit could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's real quick, see who was out there.
People are
DJ
watching
was
this
out
shit.
there. Yeah, for some reason. DJ was out there. Two Live Moo, G websites, um, Giz or Gary, C&T Designs and Arms, Gunpowder Beauty, Wesley Foster, and Music Logic, Honcho Fett. I think I got everybody so far. Everybody who has commented. And
Good to have everyone.
yes, I appreciate everybody. And C&T Design and Arms is saying that the Democrats are putting in a bill right now to pack the court by adding 4 seats to the Supreme Court. And there is no set limit.
Yep.
On
that
the
would
number
be constitutional.
on the number of judges, so they could, technically they can add judges or remove judges or I guess maybe not remove, but not refill a seat.
That'd be terrifying, wouldn't it? You just have one.
Yeah. So I don't think it'll go through.
How long have we had 9?
I don't remember. I know I've heard it before.
I'll look it up.
Have a good night, Music Logic.
See if anyone out in the chat knows. If you know the answer to that, pop that in the chat.
Yeah, does anybody know when was the last time that there was a different number of judges on the Supreme Court?
Oh, I have some news, by the way. New job, working from home on the PC, doing contract work, so I get to set my own hours. So we can do more late night shows if we wanted.
Ah.
We can go later, whatever we want.
So are you threatening everybody now? We're gonna do more chats?
Yes, and my channel strike is about to be removed from my channel. I should be able to live stream. Theoretically, I could do shows on there too. So stay tuned.
Both Honcho Fett and Gunpowder Beauty are saying 1869.
Wow, that's a long time.
Honcho was saying the number of justices on the Supreme Court has changed 6 times before settling on the.
How many states did we have in 1869?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Because Washington joined the Union in 1889. Which interesting fact for if you're in Washington, that's a year after Washington State University was founded. I think it was either the year before or the same year.
So there was only 37 states. So we've added 13 states to the Union, but not a single justice. So I can see why they're saying we should add more, but I don't like the reason they're saying it. They're saying it because they just want power. If they said we want to do it because we've added 13 states and not a single more justice, but they've had 150 years to do that, and they haven't done it. Now, out of the blue, they're like, we need 4 more. Stat. We still have power.
I don't really see a reason to do practically a reason to do it. Aside from the packing the court part, just because it's not the same as like the House of Representatives.
It kind of is, though.
Not really.
Each justice has their own circuit that they oversee. And there's more circuits than there are justices. So they have like one guy doing 4.
I see your point. I just don't. Yeah.
I'm not making that point as if I believe it. I'm just saying they might argue that the justices are representing those circuits.
Yeah, Joe's saying it went from 8 to 9 in 1869.
But that's the great thing about our country. If they want to do it, they should debate it and vote on it. Wonder how many votes they need. So, like a constitutional amendment, do you need to get like 2/3 and then have states ratify?
I don't have a clue. Uh,
Me neither.
let's see what the Google says.
Yeah.
Hell.
I'm sure like Vox has done a whole article on exactly how they would do it, right?
How and why and how,
Mm-hmm.
the reason it needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
How many votes to add Supreme Court seats?
Was it Taft that was the president and then became Chief Justice?
Yeah.
That'd be a cool gig, wouldn't it? Like, I'm the most powerful person in the country. Now I get to be second most powerful for the rest of my life.
Oh. I see a lot of.
Can you imagine if Trump was the Chief Justice right now? Oh, God. Lifetime appointment.
Greatest Chief Justice ever. Well, I see a lot of. I can't find an actual number here.
He was the 27th president and the 10th Chief Justice. Mouth does not work tonight. He was the provisional governor of Cuba? No shit. It lasted like 40 days.
So, beer. Thought I just saw right there. No, I don't want.
Oh, we should welcome Honcho Fett to the Gilded server. Welcome, Honcho.
So in the Senate, they need 60 votes.
Okay, so
I don't see that happening personally.
yeah, I don't know the reasoning that Republicans would vote for that, but they just voted for gun control. So
yeah, they don't trust any of them. I don't trust theirs. I don't trust mine.
I see it as highly unlikely, but possible.
Yeah, and it's kind of, there's no downside to proposing it.
No,
for them.
They can run on it. Of course, that's
Yeah.
what they said about the gun control. They can propose it, fail, and then run on failing, but then they succeeded. Oops. Now they're talking about another assault weapon ban.
Yeah, I don't see that going anywhere either. Personally, but again, you never know because
that's how the first one got passed. Republicans voted for it.
Yeah.
That is why primaries are so important. Just voting for a conservative doesn't mean a good conservative made it through the primaries for pro-gun or other positions.
So Ken Thompson was asking how many have to vote saying the states are doing unconstitutional things before the states stop doing unconstitutional things. They won't
Enough,
stop.
I'd say enough to get rid of your governor, but then you'll just switch him out for someone that does different types of unconstitutional things.
Yeah, because other than voting them out of office, there is no practical um, downside to them doing unconstitutional things.
Yeah, it's not like they get thrown in jail. Like
No,
if
there
I
is.
violate someone's constitutional rights, I get thrown in jail. But if they do it, they're like, well, I thought we could.
I can't remember what it's called, but I believe there is a law. There is a charge you can use for unconstitutional things, but nobody's ever going to use them.
Plus, you have to prove that they knew it was unconstitutional when they did it.
Yeah, because look at as soon as Bruin was ruled on, both New York and California immediately added unconstitutional laws.
Yep.
What California did, and New York is trying to. Wesley Foster was saying Grant was on the Supreme Court.
Cool. Maryland, on the other hand, was just like, yeah, you got us. Full stop.
Pink Panther saying a brand new ATF head will make an assault weapons ban for everyone, which hopefully that kind of ties into the CRS stuff that where with the Bruin ruling and the strict scrutiny that it will take the power away from the ATF to do such a thing because they don't make law.
Yep.
And they also what was the
EPA versus somebody.
Yeah, there's a link in the last chat, which got rid of the Chevron deference. So it took away their power to make those decisions.
And theoretically, well, actually, legally, we'll see if they find a way around it, but that should also take away ATF's, like, this card is a machine gun. Stupid decision. Because there's no law that says a drawing of a machine gun is a machine gun. Or me saying that this drawing is a machine gun is a machine gun. That's all their interpretation.
And that's what Matt Hoover, CRS, who is CRS.
God bless him.
His lawyers had talked about that. If I remember, I'll put a link to the video where they're kind of discussing that, the NFA and the rulings, and they're using that to defend Matt. And they said that that's their number one goal is to defend Matt. And that if in the process they take down the NFA, then all the better.
Yeah, I'm not giving the ATF any ideas they don't already have, but if they're smart, they'll just drop the case.
That's what I would think.
And I think that's what his lawyers are doing. If you don't drop this case, we're going to blow up the NFA.
Yeah, because they've already pushed back the court date. Because it originally wouldn't it have started before the ruling came out?
Mm-hmm. A full month.
And
yeah, it would have been all over.
Yeah. So then now they pushed it back to December, I believe. So they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do. Because I was watching a bunch of stuff earlier and I didn't make notes, as always. Because that's what the tax stamp because when it was challenged, I'm trying to.
Miller.
Yeah, I was watching a couple of different things, and now I'm kind of mixing everything together. But with the Miller, well, part of the problem with Miller was Miller died and never. So it was only the government was represented when it went to the Supreme Court. Miller's side wasn't.
Did he fall down a staircase or something?
Yeah, into some bullets.
Yeah.
And then the guy who his co-defendant, um, I think he died also. I know he kind of disappeared. Um, I'm not sure if he actually died or not at the same time. Bending Ballistics is out there. Good morning. But yeah, now I lost my thought. Sidetracked myself.
Tax
Oh,
stamps.
the tax stamp. So the government had said that, well, we're not banning machine guns. We're just taxing them. That's how they kind of worked around it not being unconstitutional.
And then Reagan said you're not allowed to register any new ones. So how can you claim that it's not unconstitutional because we'll let you have them if you pay the tax, but then you're saying we can't register any new ones and the prices skyrocket to where no one can afford them?
Yeah, that's Reagan is a tough one for me. I'm gonna admit this. You know, I was in grade school when Reagan was president, and his speeches are inspiring, but his actions were not inspiring. Some of the stuff that he did. Um, so it's I still when I hear his speeches, I still get that same feeling as when I was in grade school, where it the way he talks about America and basically talks about America's exceptionalism, which not a lot of politicians do anymore. Um,
To be
just
completely honest, though, that would have passed no matter who was in there. In there, like if Jimmy Carter was president, that would have passed.
yeah.
Like
Eh,
he is the one that signed it, but you can't blame him. He didn't write the bill. He didn't pass the bill. He just signed it.
yeah, I
And
don't
Richard
know.
Nixon would have signed it. Gerald Ford would have signed it. George George Bush Sr. would have signed it. George Bush Jr. would have signed it. Hell, I bet Trump might have even signed that thing. I wouldn't put it
I
past him.
Yeah, that's
That's
another
just
one
my
where
opinion. Put that out to you.
there were a lot of things I liked that Trump did, and there were a lot of things that Trump did I did not like. So
Yeah,
um,
that's like people.
yeah, basically that's you know the duality of man.
Yeah. The duality of anti-gunners becoming president, every single one of them. Have we ever had a pro-gun president, like a real pro-gun president? Like,
Um, I don't know. I wonder.
isn't that sad that we can't be like, yes, this one. He wanted to
Well,
give us
I had
nukes.
if Reagan had not been shot, would that
That
change the course of history, where he did not go so hard after the Russians and did not support gun control?
I don't think so because he supported gun control when he was governor of California.
Yeah,
But people claim that's just a racism thing. They're like, that's just because it was the Black Panthers. But I don't know. I don't know if he was racist.
I don't think so. I mean, there was a recording which was just dug up recently where he's talking to. Is he talking to Nixon?
Here we go. See? We have smart viewers. James Madison.
Um, where he had made some comments about some African delegates in the UN. Um,
Were they positive comments?
no,
Hmm?
not positive.
You don't say.
And some the video that I watched, uh, it had both sides. Some somebody saying that it proves that he was racist, and then the other side saying, well, it's because of who he was talking to that he used the language that you know that the person he was talking to was kind of racist, and he used that language to kind of get a point across and then get what he wanted from that. I don't know. We kind of got.
Let's see. He was born in. When was he born?
Reagan or Madison?
1911. How many people that were born in 1911 weren't racist?
Yeah.
Like if it was a percentage, what is it, like coin flip? 50-50? It's got to be high. I don't mean like a seething racist, just like casual racist. Like, yeah, you can have guns.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't feel like selling them to you.
Gunmetal Guy USA is out there saying period. I don't know. Is he having his period? I don't know. Yeah, so I kind
Having
of
a period in a full suit of armor. It's got to be rough.
well, no, I don't want to go down that road. Yeah, I think I sidetracked us, so I'm not sure where we were before.
Tax stamps.
Saying
it's not unconstitutional, but you can't register any new ones.
Yeah, so it wasn't. It wasn't. It was kind of workaround that wasn't. That argument wasn't fully vetted. It was not. Because
It's never been realistically
it's the only
challenged.
Is basically it's the only right that's taxed.
Yep.
And then also, comes into putting somebody in jail for not having the tax stamp.
And it's not even like a processing fee. Like, oh, pay us $200. We'll give you this license for a machine gun, and then you can just buy as many as you want. They want $200 every time. But you want to have a barrel that's shorter than 16 inches on your rifle? Give us $200. Why? I already passed the background check. I already got 50 in the safe. Why do you need more $200? Like, you already deemed that I'm worthy of NFA items. Why do I need to keep paying you? Makes zero sense.
No, and that's, even for Washington, that, to me, that's proof that these gun laws that were added to keep us safer are bullshit, because I have a concealed weapons permit. So there was background check done on me for that. Every time I buy a gun, there's a background check for that. If I buy an assault weapon, a semi-automatic rifle, there's an additional waiting period and somehow a deeper background check. Well, if I'm okay to carry, why do I have to get checked again when I carry the gun? And the one argument I've heard was, well, maybe there's a problem, so you weren't able. There's a problem that would disqualify you from carrying that gun or from buying that gun. Well, I still have my permit. Yep. Why wasn't my permit taken away? And then how does that 10-day wait make me safer? And then on top of that, there's a very low number of concealed carry permit holders that commit crimes with guns.
The hilarious, and we can't do private sales. I don't know if people know that. So let's say you and I met up in real life, and I had an AR-15 that you loved, and You had our AR-15 that I loved, and we're like, ooh, let's trade. We'd have to go down to an FFL and both wait 10 days because it would be too dangerous for me to hand my gun to you and your gun to me when we already have quote unquote assault weapons. So that 10 days is going to save people? I don't know. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and what Honcho Fat is saying, they realized the ATF could make money when the citizens want to buy full. I do not agree with, and it's not nothing against you, Honcho. I don't agree with that argument. I've heard people make that before, where it's a money making scheme. I do not believe it's a money making scheme. I believe it's just to stop people from buying it, to make it harder. Just like all these laws, like with the additional background checks and stuff. It's just to clog up the system to make it harder for people to own these things.
Because you got to imagine, they must be making way more money off alcohol and tobacco taxes, right? Plus, they're getting tax money from every gun sold.
I have to
double check where that money goes.
No. I have to be careful on, because I've seen some numbers when the Washington legalized weed, or no, it wasn't the weed, it was the alcohol. When they got rid of their state-run,
went to private.
Yeah, allowed private sales of alcohol. And I've seen the projections on the numbers, and I can't talk about them because I'm not supposed to talk about them. But yeah, when they did that, the state made a lot more money by getting rid of them selling it just off the tax.
So theoretically, they would make more money if they got rid of the NFA tax stamp and just did like a flat 10% fee. Like, oh, you're going to buy this $400 can, give us $40.
Well, that's
just baked in.
What would the fee be for, though?
Well, like when you buy a new firearm, there's a fee for buying a new firearm that's baked into the cost of the gun. The manufacturers pay it, don't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there is. And since no one is challenging me, it is a fact. Right?
You declare it.
I can check.
I lost the thought. Well, yeah, I think I would have to know what that fee is. Wesley Foster was asking, if you're ejected out of an airplane, what gun would you like strapped to you? I would like a parachute gun.
Yeah. A C-130? I can just climb in and fly away?
Just saying that the tax stamp fee is not tax deductible.
So first imposed in 1919, a tax of 10% of the sale price is imposed on pistols and revolvers, and a tax of 11% is imposed on other portable weapons, rifles and shotguns, and ammunitions. So I guess there's like an 11% tax baked into everything we buy. 10 to 11.
Does it say, was there a purpose for the tax, or is it just a tax? The tax?
I think it's just revenue. Keep the government going.
Because sometimes
G-Webs
the
would know this for sure. He's good at all this stuff.
yeah, because sometimes there'll be a tax and they'll say, well, they added the tax to pay for this bullshit or that bullshit. That you know they're taxing legal gun owners to pay for illegal acts. That's kind of one of the newer schemes.
And they also do it on imports too. So they like there's no such thing as like a
Imp-
federal sales tax, but there kind of is depending on what you're buying.
I can kind of understand the tax on imports a little more. Uh,
Yeah, because it wasn't built here.
yeah, and then you're dealing with import laws and stuff like that.
I don't know
Kenta,
what this is in reference to, but I agree.
I think that's back to the if you're jumping out of the plane. Um, uh, he also was saying the gun taxes to pay for enforcing the gun laws.
Could be.
See, again, that's another where you're taxing the someone who has a legal right to own something. To you're paying the taxing them so you can pay for um,
Unconstitutional regulations on what shouldn't be regulated.
well, no, just so if somebody commits a crime with a gun, that's
Yeah.
not that's not my fault. I didn't commit a crime with a gun. I pay my state taxes to and local taxes that employs the police department. I pay federal taxes and that pays for you know federal programs.
Yeah. You remember that chat we did a long time ago about does the ATF serve a useful purpose?
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they just got rid of all of their enforcement arm and just had like the pencil pushers. And then if they needed people to go arrest someone, you call the local cops. Be like, hey, this trace on a gun came back to this guy. He shot somebody, blah, 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 blah. Go pick him up.
Yeah, I think that's where I landed in the discussion. Where the thing, if they exist, that's the thing that they should be doing. Um yeah, yeah, lost the thought again. Wow.
Make him a part of the IRS again.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, oh, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, cuz you've got the local law
FBI.
enforcement, or if it's a fugitive, then you've got the marshal service.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine the marshals picking you up for a drawing on a piece of metal and a stupid video on YouTube that you made? That would suck.
Yeah, you thought the wrong thought. We're taking you to jail. And that's what the CRS's
You're
lawyers, two of the points that they were making was he had a First Amendment right to say it, and I forget what the second point was.
that even if you agree that he didn't have the right to say it, it should be unconstitutional to regulate them as you're doing anyway. I think that was it.
Yeah, something like that. Tim S is going to bed. Oh, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us for the little time you did. Appreciate it. Oops. There we go. Go back through the comments a little bit, see if I missed anything. Oh, Hachi was. So these revenues are all allocated to the Federal Aid to Wildlife Restoration Funds, also known as the Wildlife Restoration Trust Fund, and used for wildlife restoration for hunter safety, education purposes, established by the Federal Aid and Wildlife Restoration Act of 1937.
You know what I
That's
think?
kind of what your hunting license does.
That, and maybe we should take all these subsidies we give to oil companies and be like, hey, let's fund the environment instead.
Or some of these subsidies we give to other countries.
Yep. Like telling Brazil, save your rainforest as we mine our national monuments or national parks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now people are going to think I spend my free time hugging trees.
Hippie.
Leftist confirmed.
There's nothing wrong with caring about the environment.
Oh.
That's starting to sidetrack us again.
Yeah. See, that's how we stretch it out to 2 hours.
Well, I'll go ahead and go down that. That's like the people that don't like the hunting licenses, and I'm kind of okay with that, just because the deer population, elk population, whatever, it is kind of a finite resource.
Yeah, we could wipe them out easy.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is most people will just take one or two, enough to fill their freezer, but there's enough people out there that will just keep going, keep hunting, or commercialize the hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So then that resource disappears and nobody gets to use it. For fishing,
we learned that lesson in fishing in Washington. They overfished the hell out of the Sound.
Well, for like the lakes, most of the lakes are stocked with trout and catfish. Some of them are stocked with catfish. So those wouldn't be there without the fishing license that pays for that. And I'm okay with that. I haven't fished in quite a while now, but I used to enjoy going. And my son would go with me. That was even better.
Nothing more relaxing than bashing in a fish's head with a baseball bat, right?
Well, we were at the little pond and fishing, and then so we decided, we were done for the day, and so I had all our fish on a stringer, pulling the stringer, and this, I think it was a grandma with a, granddaughter comes over. Oh, let's look at this. And I pull the fish up and I start bashing them on the head to throw them in the cooler.
The fun ones are when they're so damn big, you got to shoot them before you bring them in.
That's what the guys who fish for skate.
Yep.
They'll do that because they'll break your legs.
They will. No, honey, I'm not buying this for self-defense. I need it for fishing.
I'm going fishing.
That's an actual excuse that is used in this state.
Yeah, there was somebody I knew that would fish for flounder and skate, and he's like, "Yeah, I won't bring them in the boat without shooting them first,
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
because they could be, 100-pound fish. It's all muscle."
Yeah. You're like, did I hook the bottom or is this a fish? Because it feels like hooked the bottom. Yeah, they get massive. I need to go fishing.
I do miss it, but I moved away from there were two mill ponds that I used to fish. When we moved, I don't want to drive down there. And one of them, I would go at sunup, just before dawn, where the sun wasn't quite up and the sun would rise when I was down there. But more and more, I was running into junkies that were already down there hanging out.
Yep.
So it kind of discouraged me from going.
Last time I went fishing, it was a little too windy. I was like, what's the big deal? I'm Washingtonian. I can take some rain and wind. No big deal. And then my motor died right in the middle of the lake. I was like, okay. I'm strong. Get the oars out, put the oars in the water. I had an oar snap in half. I was stuck in the middle of the lake with one oar, no motor. It's like,
going in
this
circles.
Is bad. Yep. It's like, I guess I'm going to end up on that side of the lake now.
PNW Woods is out there. Good evening. There's a link in the not the Discord, the Gilded.
That's going to take
and the Discord.
Time to get used to, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you want to jump in Woods, there's the link.
That's a fun pastime. Fishing for junkies.
Yeah, I never fished for them. They would always just find me.
You put a needle on a fishing line and drag it across the street?
Just tie a dollar bill to a fishing line, drag it across the street.
Are dollar bills the new pennies? Are they even worth picking up anymore?
Ooh, yeah, they add up. So you had a question.
Secondary topic?
Yeah.
It's a fun one. Let's say...
Actually, I can do a poll to go along with it.
Good idea.
Go ahead and ask a question while I'm typing here.
So, let's say the stars align. CRS Firearms, a.k.a. Matt Hoover, gets let go. ATF gets their nose slapped. NFA gets repealed. What NFA item do you want to get without a tax stamp? And if anyone's listening, this is not intent. This is only if it is legal, what would you get?
It's a free speech thought experiment.
Yep. I would love a short-barreled shotgun, but even if the NFA was repealed, Washington State still has a ban on shotguns, short-barreled shotguns. I don't know if that would work. What do you think?
It would be unconstitutional. But I got the poll up. If the NFA was repealed, suppressor, machine gun, SBR, short barrel rifle, SBS, short barrel shotgun.
Yes. The answer is yes. All of the above. All on one, tied together.
I would probably buy some more suppressors. And then um, SBR, SBS. I don't know. Not real interested in having one. Wouldn't say I wouldn't have one. It's just it doesn't right
Fun range
now.
toy.
Yeah.
I really want a integrated suppressor on like a 22. That would be sweet.
Yeah, there are, what is it? 1020, is it 1022 barrels you can buy
Yep.
that come with them? And then some of the AR, I know there's one company that makes an AR barrel, I think. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember exactly.
Maybe a bolt action with an integrated suppressor. That'd be nice. Super, super quiet.
Yeah, they're fun. Um, I enjoy shooting mine.
I have never shot one yet.
It's I don't know, it's I guess there's no real reason for it to be more fun, but just it being quiet makes it fun.
Yeah, because you're so used to them being like deafening loud.
And with because I have it on my 300 blackout, and I use subsonic rounds, and it's just kind of weird that you can hear stuff inside the gun. Hear the bolt and stuff. It's not movie crazy quiet, but
What about a machine gun? Full auto Ruger 1022? That'd be pretty fun.
uh, uh
Bullet
again,
hose.
it's I'm I would maybe buy one, but it's not, you know, I'm not chomping at the bit to have one.
I watched a video, and supposedly the way they, I probably shouldn't say this out loud. The way they do full auto Ruger 1022s is they use the extractor as the firing pin. So when the bolt closes shut, instead of coming around the rim of the 22, it just slams right into it, sets it off, and rips it out.
How
So
does
they're
it
super easy to make.
does it well, we won't get into construction.
No, I meant from the manufacturer, like Ruger, all they would
Yeah.
need to do is swap out a extractor. That's it. Wouldn't that be funny if I got in trouble for describing a video that didn't get in trouble? I forgot who. I should quote the other YouTube channel if I can find it. Is it the Machine Gun Nest? I'm just going to throw them under the bus. No, I do not own a 1022. It is not the Machine Gun Nest. Somebody else.
Uh,
Recoil TV. That's who it was.
I was looking up the MP54 that Wesley Foster mentions,
Mm-hmm. Is that a
and
virus?
no, it uh, it comes up with This. So I'm guessing he's not talking about a transformer.
Probably not. Maybe he wants that strapped to his back when he jumps out of an airplane.
There we go.
What about handguns? Anything crazy with a handgun you'd want? Like Taurus Judge without the rifle barrel, so it would actually work.
No, not
No.
really. I wouldn't put a stock on a Glock. So
What else? So basically just short-barreled rifle and suppressors. That's all you want.
yeah, I'm a simple man.
That's a good question. What do you think the chances of the NFA being struck down is? If they go to trial with this case on CRS, I think it's a very good chance. I don't think they're going to go to trial.
I would put it just above 50-50. Caucasian Sasquatch was up late. Howdy, howdy.
And struck down, like completely gone, I don't know. They might modify it. Like they could get rid of the, you can't register new ones. Because that was part of the argument. Like, how can you say it's not unconstitutional because we're letting you have them and then not let you have them? So I got to take one of those away, right? At least.
Yeah. I don't know. I really curious to see what happens.
God, let's hope they're not that smart. Imagine if they're like, okay, we'll open the registry, but we are going to adjust the tax rate for inflation, and it's no longer $200; it's like $30,000.
Well, they'll probably stretch it out. If they decide to drop it, they won't drop it until close to the trial date, so they can spend the maximum amount of time trying to figure a way around it.
Yeah, can you imagine how much they're freaking out right now?
Well, I've heard there was somebody, I can't remember if it was a senator or not, that was talking about upping the tax stamp so that it would create a problem to get rid of the NFA. And I never heard the argument why they were saying that. Super bad videos out there. Good evening. Because on the face of it, I don't understand how that would work, but I never did look into it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess he has a point. Like, if the tax stamp cost $1, we'd have a pretty hard time going in court and saying you're super infringing on my right because you're taxing me $1 to get this whole process done. Right? If you're just fighting it on the you're taxing my right, the amount must have something to do with it, right? Like they say, it costs $1 and that pays for the paperwork when we print out the paper or whatever the fuck they want to say.
Well,
But if there was 1,000, that would
if
be
you
a
look at
huge
if you look
difference.
at voting, there's Democrats that say that requiring ID is, well, racist, sexist, homophobic. They throw everything at it because
Mm-hmm.
the poor can't get IDs. That would be along the same lines, because even though it's just $1, even though you just go down to the you know to the office and then ask for a state ID, they're saying that's too much.
Yeah, I love how they use the argument either way they want to, depending on the topic. They're like, we can tax the hell out of your guns, but it's illegal to make you pay to vote. Isn't it the same exact problem?
Yeah.
Like, if it's a right, it's right. Shouldn't have to pay for it. If it costs money, that's on you. Maybe it shouldn't cost as much money. Make it cheaper. Like paperwork. Why do you need physical papers?
It's for somehow guns have become this mystical device that is scary, and nobody seems to understand anymore. What I I'll retract that, because I'm speaking from now times perspective. I don't know how it was in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be that the views on guns were a little bit different, but I don't know how prevalent they were. Not everybody had one, but did most people just not care if people had them?
It was more people had them, but they had less of them. Now more guns are out there, but they're in the hands of less people today. So, like back in the 30s, it was way more normal for a household to have like 3 guns. Now it's like one gun owner has 30, then less people have guns. Does that make sense?
Yeah, excuse me for a second. I'll pantomime the spider out of here. Yeah, okay. So Kent Thompson is asking, how far do we take this? The second says arms right. Not rifles and pistols. Arms encompass nuclear missiles. I've had an argument with somebody over that, who
I think
said
that was me.
no, it was not you.
Oh,
Who said they don't believe in
the Second Amendment isn't
they don't believe in
absolute.
it. They don't believe in infringements, but then he, listed an infringement, and to back up his argument was, well, you don't want your neighbor to have a nuclear weapon, do you?
I don't
And
want the government to have a nuclear weapon.
he failed to understand that he's listing infringements, and his argument was, he would just say back, well, you don't want people to have nuclear weapons, do you? But if somebody chose to
Oh,
have a
so that
nuclear
wasn't
weapon,
his only point. He was listing like, oh, you should have a machine gun, and then he's using a nuclear weapon as the excuse.
yeah, basically.
Gotcha.
Um,
I just don't think you should have a nuclear weapon. I'm okay with you having a machine gun.
well, if somebody can make a nuclear weapon, you're not going to stop them.
Probably not.
And that's, it was the purpose of the Second Amendment was so that the people could have the same armaments that the government had to protect itself from the government.
Hence my statement that I don't think the government should have nukes.
Yeah, it's I don't know. That's a tough question now, since they do exist and other countries have them. So,
Would I feel safer if Bill Gates had nukes in his like Seattle mansion? Uh, I don't know. How about you?
well, I don't, I don't know if I would feel safe or not, but he can afford to have them. So
That's the point.
if he wanted to become,
Doctor Evil.
yeah, he could. And look at the. Nope, nope. We'll stay on topic. uh, Ken Thompson saying no one should have nukes. Yes, but now as they said, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Should we make more though?
No.
Okay, we agree on that.
Super bad videos saying, I am in the mindset that if you are a law abiding citizen, you should be able to own whatever uh, firearm accessory you want. I will say I agree. And um, in the past, before I um, kind of got into guns and stuff, I wasn't into guns. I thought guns were okay. I didn't own any. And I was kind of thought that, yeah, there's stuff that I don't like, so maybe shouldn't be out there, like hand grenades. Um, and my argument was just the way that they work. Whereas um, a firearm, basically, you're shooting at, you're pointing at what you want to shoot, and a hand grenade is more indiscriminate. So I didn't really think that people should have hand grenades. And I've kind of changed my position just based on if you start the infringements, then they just don't stop. Um, well, now that if there were no NFA, then I might own some hand grenades, because I wouldn't mind owning some hand grenades.
What's the tax stamp on those? Is it $200?
Yeah.
Yikes. And then you blow it up and it's gone. You don't have it anymore. You should get your $200 back, right?
Um, what's you saying? Hard pass on new nuclear anything? I'm okay with nuclear if they can keep the sodium nuclear plants that are a little cleaner, or if they ever had figured out the cold fusion.
I'm for the progressing of the technology. I'm not sure I trust the government to implement it safely. Because when that goes bad, it goes really bad.
Yeah.
Like when you have a refinery blow up or something, or a power plant, it doesn't like give everyone in the state cancer, right?
Well, in California, everything gives you cancer.
Yeah. That's how I know I'm getting good stuff.
You're getting the good stuff that causes cancer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after that other show, I don't want to die in my sleep or anything. Right?
Well,
Sounds terrifying.
Sorry, I was catching up on the side chat. Ken Thompson said, not the government, not the people, but yes, I understand. Can't erase them. So as a nation, we need them. But don't tell me I can't legally have what any common man could make in his shop. Common man cannot make a nuke. Common man can make a machine gun.
He has a point. Common man can't make a nuke yet. There was like that super genius kid that made a reactor in his garage. And do you remember this?
I didn't. I never. I had heard people kind of mention it, but I didn't know the story. Uh, I understand what Ken is saying. I think.
Yeah. If I could pick a hole in that a little bit, what's that? Should you be allowed to buy a fighter jet? Because a common man cannot buy that or cannot build that. But a common man can build a tank. Remember that lunatic killdozer guy?
Well, I don't know about lunatic.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree on his lunaticness. The perfectly sane guy that bulldozed a town.
Well, just with the nukes, it's the I kind of reject the argument. I kind of understand when people make it. I just don't. It kind of is, as he was saying, along the lines of what he was saying. I'm not trying to put words in Ken's mouth, but it's a far-fetched scenario. So I don't think it makes a good argument to argue either way.
Let's see if I can take this a little bit further. Let's say you had a person like Jeff Bezos with his penis rockets that he launches into space. Should he be allowed to put a nuke on the top of one? They could like one of those Russian ones that can take out Texas. Because that seems a little sketchy. Like, I don't trust the government with them. I wouldn't trust Bezos either.
It would depend on what he does with it, because there's an environmental impact with the usage, and or if he uses it to, trying to get $1 million.
He threatens to blow up the moon. We get that movie Moonfall, right? Luckily, this is not a problem that you or I have to solve.
No. But
it's interesting.
It is. And so Ken is also saying, I can make a machine gun right now with a file in like 30 minutes, maybe. I don't because it's illegal. I could try my whole life and never make a nuke. That may be true, but should you have the right to make that nuke?
Yeah, I don't know.
And Pink Panther is saying common man can make pipe bombs and have dynamite, so why not grenades?
Like, if we go back to the founding of the country, they're cool with you having a warship, right?
Yeah, warships and cannons. And
I wonder if they'd be cool with nukes. Because, like, warship can mess up a city, but at least you have to be able to see the city you're blowing up.
that's uh, I've heard people say, well, why didn't they use different language? If they had just used, had said this instead of that, then it would be clearer. Well, for them, this was clear. What they wrote was the parlance of the time. It's the language they understood, and with the concepts they understood. Because I don't know if anybody had any concept of a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Like, that's something that would be like the power of God back then.
Yeah.
Like, they would have no idea a human could wipe out an entire. You can wipe out the whole globe at this point.
Yeah.
Many times over.
So that's a lot of the anti-gunners will look at the wording and then apply the modern interpretation of the wording, which doesn't always jive. And Ken was saying it kind of sounds like we're making a case against the Second Amendment right now. I don't agree with that. I don't think that we are making a case against the Second Amendment. It is a right that is in our Constitution, and people can have opinions on what they think that right encompasses, but the way it is written and the way that it should be implemented, which the Bruin ruling, and then to I don't even know if it's a lesser degree, the EPA ruling helps kind of bring it back to what it was.
Woods just posted in the Gilded server a shotgun that he's saying if the NFA goes away, he'd love to SBR this. Let me pull it up.
I got it. I can share it. You got it.
Ooh, that is.
It's blurry. You were moving.
It is a gun. I can see that. And I see a cat that is more in focus than the gun.
It's a cat gun. He would strap a cat to an SBR.
I love a good coach gun. A lot of fun.
And I'm not going to completely disagree here with Wood saying that people with nukes is a terrible idea. Just terrible. People suck.
Yes, I concur. And I put that on governments too.
And just to so Ken understands, I'm not. We were just having a discussion. I'm not saying that you're wrong about anything in particular. It's good to have these discussions.
Yep.
Whether we agree or not.
The nukes thing is a fun topic anyway.
There's
nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. New Jersey Outcast is out there.
A cat
And
strap on.
yeah, John, I sent some possible um, profile pics to Gary, because you were kind of looking for a new profile pic for the New Jersey Outcast. I don't know if you ever saw him. So,
Oh, did he move?
No, he just changed his name.
Did New Jersey annex his area of New York? Or was he outcast from New Jersey and now he's in New York?
I don't know if he was just trolling New York Outcast when he changed his name.
Oh, that's not New York.
No.
Who is it?
That's John Z.
Oh. You got me. Hey, if you joined the Gilded server, I would have given you mod status. So I just learned a lesson, didn't I? Watch a bunch of YouTubers, quote unquote, start showing up in the Gilded server.
Woods is saying where the lighter is where you would cut it off.
Ah, that's what that was. I thought that was your ghetto flashlight. You just turn the lighter on in the middle of the night.
Yeah, John saying he was trolling Rob
It
D,
worked.
the New York Outcast.
I thought he moved. We should give him a wrench, right?
Candace saying when the 2A was written, the intent was clearly that the citizens should have what the government has, so the citizens can defend themselves against the government, which is kind of become a foreign concept now because there are so many people dependent on the government.
And that's what you had said originally. You said government has nukes, private citizens should be allowed to too. I'm the one that was like, I don't think either should. But that's my opinion. But can't put the genie back in the bottle, as you said.
Yeah, I think it was it Oppenheimer or who said that? That's a quote from somebody. And now I forget. It was either Oppenheimer or I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Einstein.
Einstein. Thank you. One of those two said that.
Yeah, that Einstein quote. What was it? I don't know what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. It's amazing we've got this far with the ability to destroy the entire planet, right? Like just the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was crazy.
Well, that's I don't know.
And on that note,
I was trying to look up the quote, but I'm getting everything but what I want. Never mind.
have you tried using Bing?
Not in many years.
I'm joking.
Bing kind of sucks. Let me go go ahead and end the poll. And as soon as it pops up here. So we had 10 votes.
Look at that.
Machine gun won with 60%. Suppressors 20%. SBR and SBS both 10%. So everybody wants machine guns.
I want a machine gun with a suppressor that is an SBR and has a shotgun, underbarrel mount, master key. I want all. Give me all of it. People will be like, "Oh, it weighs too much." Be a man. Pick it up. You'll be fine.
Yeah, if I could, I would probably go kind of along with Wesley, the MP5. It's kind of iconic, and I've always, ever since a kid, that was the cool gun for me.
Those things are so expensive.
Well, is that partly because of the NFA?
I think it's because of HK.
Well, yeah.
they hate you because you're poor.
Yeah, because the two, if I was collecting and could afford to collect, MP5 and L1A1, the British L1A1, which is, I know that it's just a version of the crap, the other gun, the I'm kind of drawing blanks on everything tonight. It's
that 5G tower they put in.
I don't know. The shit. All I can think is Scar, but it's not Scar. It's not a Scar.
What caliber?
Hang on. Yeah, I don't know why I cannot think of this stinking name of what it's. You'll get it as soon as you see it here. Give me just a second. Just a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. And
FAL.
FAL.
G3.
Thank you.
FAL. I got it before I even saw it. Look at that.
Yeah. But I would have one of those.
That would be fun. Have I mentioned how close I got to getting a C308 G3 clone?
Yeah.
I was so close. Oh, I have made a decision. Was it on the mouse party? G Webs was asking if you had like $100,000, what would you get? And I said I'd get like 8 MCX spears. I have decided I'm going to get an NFA item. Going to do the tax stamps. I'm going to buy one of those.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
I'm going to get all fancy.
Nightwoods. I thought about doing that on because my Blackout is a pistol, and I thought about turning it into an SBR. But every now and again, I'll think, oh, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll just do it, and then it's just that the kind of sticking point is if something happens to me, then because I've got the tax stamp for the suppressor, and then it would be a tax stamp for the SBR. And then I've got a trust for the can, and my brother-in-law's on that. But I'm trying to figure out how to make this easy so my wife doesn't have to deal with any of it. And having the two tax stamps just kind of complicates things.
What I would do, I think I'd just buy a second receiver and do a tax stamp on that, and then have a pistol lower and a SBR lower. And if something happens to you and nobody wants it, they can just cut up the NFA lower and keep the pistol.
Hmm.
You don't have to transfer anything. You just cut up a $50 chunk of metal.
Yeah.
That's an option.
Ken's asking, how many of those brand new unused M1 Grands that are sitting in tubes in South Korea do you think you could get with $1 million?
Am I buying from the CMP or from the South Koreans? Because the CMP doesn't really do a markup. I think they're selling them for like 1,100 right now. So yeah, I guess you get 1,000 of them. There's no tax. There's no shipping. Credit card, gun purchase. That's the American way.
I'll say I have done part of a purchase on a credit card once, which goes against my the rules that I follow. Just because I got a chubby for a gun, so I had half in cash and put the rest on credit card, which kind of got me in trouble. My accountant did not like that.
Let's see. I'm checking the CMP right now. They have rack grades for $650. Ken is right. And they have expert grades for $1,100. Those have brand new barrels, brand new stocks, and service grade parts. That's a hell of a good deal. And to be honest, $650 for rack grade is very tempting. It's dangerous when I have extra money burning a hole in my pocket and I go to the CMP website.
Well,
They
now
have
you
a
got
limit
a
of 8 per year, and I haven't bought any this year. It's a shame.
and you got a sweet job going too, and so you got more cash flow.
I do. Contract work is fun. I make as much money as I feel like working. Did you hear about H&R is going to start making brand new M1 Garens again?
Maybe.
Yep. So, do you know who Nodak Spuds is? They're the company making all the retro AR receivers.
Yeah.
They got bought by PSA, and H&R got bought by PSA. And now they're going to be making retro AR-15s with the H&R logo and M1 Garens with the H&R logo.
You should tell Guns
Brand
and
new.
Barbecue. He'll win. He'll want in on that.
Because of the PSA thing. Just don't mention PSA. Just tell them Harrington Richardson is it back. But depending on the quality of them, I would love to have a brand new M1 Garand. They're talking about doing them in different calibers too. So like brand new one in 270 or 6.5 Creedmoor. That'd be sweet.
Did I tell you that when Guns Barbecue, right after all that happened with PSA, he won a giveaway, one of the giveaways. So I included one of the big PSA stickers. Oh, all right. Oh, are we kind of? Don't know if we covered this topic because we're kind of all over the place tonight.
Um, yeah, just to sum it up, if you want a better version of this, told you by lawyers, go to CRS's channel. And in fact, I will post the links for his channel momentarily.
Yeah, it's one of the newer videos too, so it'll be easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are we going to be charged with accessory?
No comment. No comment.
Yeah, the M1 is. I would like one, but I'm not collecting, and that would be one I would get just to collect.
Yeah, if we didn't have these hunting regulations like on ammunition magazine size, an M1 would be a pretty sweet hunting rifle. 8 rounds of 30-06.
Two Live Moose saying, don't forget to brush your teeth.
He assumes I have teeth.
So hopefully we covered some of what I meant to cover. And I'm looking at as always, I'm looking at my list. List of stuff that I was supposed to talk about. The pre-show stuff I'm supposed to talk about that I didn't talk about. But so as you see scrolling at the bottom, there's an email and comment suggestions or gun pictures. We usually look at gun pictures on Wednesdays, but if you send them in, we have time, we'll look at them on overnight. So yeah, tonight was kind of rambly, but yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. But I do appreciate everybody that was out in the side chat participating, and those who were out there listening and not commenting. Now and again, if you're listening and not commenting, leave a comment so I know that you're out there, so I can say hello. If you watch this in replay, I appreciate you too. And Baron, always appreciate you being here and helping me out.
Glad to be here. It's a hell of a time.
There's a link for the Gilded server in the description. That it's a place to kind of hang out, chit chat, share pictures, memes, whatever. It's you can check it out. And other than that, can't think of anything. Is there anything I'm missing? Anything that you want to mention?
Are we doing a show this next Wednesday?
Oh, yeah. No, there won't be a Wednesday show. I have to work. So tomorrow we're going to do a kind of in between chat. We'll do a chat tomorrow, Sunday, or I guess later today, Sunday.
Maybe we'll give the Discord server a Viking funeral live on air.
Burn it to the ground. So maybe 11 o'clock Sunday night. Same time as this chat was. So 11 o'clock Sunday night is 2 o'clock Monday morning for everybody on the East Coast. And then the week after next should be back to doing Wednesday chats. Hopefully. But appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out. Hopefully, we discussed something that was worth listening to. And if not, then I appreciate everybody listening to it anyways. But if that's it, I'm just going to say I hope everybody has a good Sunday.
You still here? It's over. Go home.